Hello, I'm Mike Gordon, and welcome to the final episode of Pokemon Gold and Silver for the Game Boy Color. And after this, we are devoting the rest of our perfect playthrough of RBYGSC to Crystal version. I only have 7 more Pokemon to add to our Pokedex, including all our in-game trades. We cleared out our phone book, so now it's time to commence with our first set of trades and our last set of trades between Gold and Silver. Now, a bit of a forewarning, this is technically the two Silver versions trading with themselves. I try getting, the program Dual Save RAM Writer is very finicky. So I accidentally wound up recording footage. Accidentally attributed a gold save file. Attributed Silver's data to gold version. It's still technically gold and silver, but for whatever, it's a mess. The schematics ain't gonna matter all that much because I will have to update the rosters in PK Hex afterwards anyways. And these are literally just mirror saves. Just do what I do here and you'll be fine. But it should be Ethan and Jimmy, not Jimmy and Jimmy. And I did not realize this until I failed to realize this until it was too little too late to go back and change anything. And I honestly don't feel like going back and... I mean, this is evidence that's still Gold and Silver version because you have 2 different sprites for Politoed here. In fact, 2 different sprites for all 12 of these Pokemon that you see here. This is evidence that these are 2 different Pokemon games. It's just, I don't know. Dual Save RAM Writer is an extremely finicky program, and yet this is the only way I'm able to save games between 2 Pokemon games. Conduct trades between 2 Pokemon games, I should say. So yeah, this entire episode is just me trading, commencing with my final sets of trades in the entire region in Gold and Silver, as well as getting Crystal version all set up to finish up his run. I should say her run, I should say. So both games, Poliwhirl and Slowpoke are holding on to King's Rocks. And that's the main reason why I didn't catch this when I first began this episode, because it was still 2 different Pokemon sprites, which does not happen if it was Silver and Silver. It's still Gold and Silver, it's just for some reason Gold got its data mixed up with Silver's. So, oh yeah, after we fully evolve our final 6 Pokemon, our final 6 trade evolutions, we will be doing a trade back. Alright. Alright, and we are going to go ahead and evolve our Onix into Steelix via trade with Metal Coat. I also need to evolve Scyther to Scizor via trade while holding a Metal Coat. So, yeah. Man, this is so freaking long. The last couple episodes of Gold and Silver are so tortuous, it's ridiculous. But luckily, this is the final episode of Gold and Silver. And then after that, I will be finishing up. The rest of this perfect playthrough will just be me playing Pokemon Crystal. That's it. But man, this is so freaking boring. Train Scyther. I have to trade train Poliwhirl to evolve into Politoed. Slowpoke to Slowpoke to evolve into Slowking. Onix for Onix to evolve into Steelix. Scyther for Scyther to evolve into Scizor. Seadra for Seadra to evolve into Kingdra. Porygon for Porygon to evolve to Porygon 2. And then we have to trade all 6 of these Pokemon back so they return to their matching trainer IDs. And what's funny is that half of these trade evolutions you will never run into from playing the game. You can only register them as seen or caught by trading. Those being Politoed, Scizor, and Porygon 2. Alright, you know. The only trade with held item evolutions that you will ever run into if you were to just accomplish each individual game to the fullest. No interactions with other games. Are Steelix, Kingdra, and Slowking. Alright, I'm hearing something. I gotta check something out for a bit. Yeah. Porygon. Fuck. There. It's nice music and all, but I don't want to deal with the copyright bullshit. So now we get to evolve Porygon to Porygon Z, which is Porygon 2, I should say. So, one forbidden Pokemon into another forbidden Pokemon. And to the best of my knowledge, Porygon 2 and Porygon Z are the only 2 Pokemon to not make a single appearance in the Pokemon anime. And I don't even think they have anime cries. Because, in spite Game Freak constantly updating the Porygon line, the anime refused to bring them back due to the infamous Porygon episode from the Indigo League. Which is kind of funny to think because Porygon does have a voice sample because he did appear in the anime. I do believe that Porygon was even 4Kids at one point did dub the anime, but scrapped dubbed that particular episode only to scrap it last minute. They did that a lot in the early episodes, but decided, okay, we can't re-air the Porygon episode and risk something similar happening over here in the States, even if we were to tone down the strobing lights. And we can't show the episode where Ash catches Tauros because 30 Tauros, because we can't show an old man shooting his gun repeatedly at children. Particularly a good guy character firing his pistol over and over again on children. And obviously we can't show off James' fake boobs. By the way, that episode must have been really awkward to dub around, since the episode did receive a dub and limited airing. Televised airings, even with it being heavily censored. So yeah, we're training back all our trade evolutions, so all our trainers will have their old Pokemon back. Honestly, I always hate these sorts of episodes. These sorts of episodes where all we're doing is battling a bunch of trainers, and nothing is or conducting a bunch of trades and absolutely nothing's happening. It's torture. Absolute fucking torture. But yeah, I have to do this. I have to do this because I need to bring this episode to an end. Alright, we need to bring Gold Silver to an end. This will be the last trade episode revolving around trading between multiple different versions. The very last ones. After Gold Silver finish their trades, both games will have to conduct a couple trades with Crystal in order to help Crystal out. And in exchange, Crystal will gift each of them the final Pokemon they need in order to complete the Pokedex. That being Celebi. After that, the whole rest of the perfect playthrough will be just all Crystal all the time. And I can't wait for that. This is definitely going to turn out to be the longest perfect playthrough I've ever done. No joke. I think there are about we're nearing, probably fast approaching 100 episodes. And we're still not done with Crystal. At the very least, it's gonna be like 90 episodes. Alright. We're going 2 with Jimmy. Last trade between Gold and Silver, returning their OG Porygon 2s to their OG trainers. Alright, we've got Porygon 2, both Porygons 2 back to their original trainers. We power off. And now we are going to first trade between Gold and Crystal version. I can only do these 2 of these trades at a time, by the way. So yeah, so Crystal's gonna have hit her first 3 trade evolutions out of the way, and note that they're all different. And Gold is actually gonna offer her the entire Ampharos line, the entire Mareep line. And thankfully, due to the little cutscenes in Crystal version that must take place before every trade, I can actually get the head start with Gold ahead of Crystal. Now, do note there is a reason why I chose Poliwhirl, Onix, Scizor here instead of Poliwhirl, Slowking, Steelix, Slowpoke, Onix in that order, something like that. I did all that because I'm not trying to, and you're gonna see in a bit. All 3 of them are holding items, sure. But for now, all I'm caring about is bolstering Chris's Pokedex entries. It should be noted, however, that Ethan did, or Gold I should say, did dupe the Ampharos before training because in each of these remaining trades, I have to leave a Pokemon behind in Crystal version. Whatever Pokemon I choose to leave behind in Crystal version is gonna be the one that I will have to dupe in Gold, and that I will have to do the same thing in Silver version. The Pokemon I chose that will be left behind in in Crystal version, between Gold and Crystal, will be Ampharos. Because I already duped Ampharos in Gold. So, something else you might notice is that neither Poliwhirl nor Onix, nor, and I'm gonna get Spoilia, Horsey, have evolved, nor will they evolve, even though they are each holding items. Well, they are the trade items we need to evolve them, but I swapped them around. The reason being is because I actually want to return those. When I do the trade backs, I want Crystal to actually receive the evolutions herself. So off screen, after this trade, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna swap all the items I'm gonna swap all the items into their proper places so that Poliwhirl has the King's Rock, Onix has the Melcoat, and Scizor have the Dragon Scales. But here, right now, they're all 3 of those items are in a scrambled order, so none of them could evolve. But I will unscramble them for the trade back. Also for the trade back, I will be returning Mareep, Flaaffy, and I will be giving them Celebi. I never duped Mareep or Flaaffy because I need to give Gold something back. I need to give 2 of those Pokemon back. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna try to check out Professor Oak's PC. Alright, Professor. Magnificent. You could become a Pokemon Professor right now. Cool. So after that... Oh yeah, we need King's Rock, Melcoat, and Dragon Scale. Back in their proper place. And oh yeah, something worth noting. Come on. Alright, so Mareep here is holding TM09. So I literally had a... which we also need to trade over to Pokemon Gold and Silver. Crystal got TM09 from the trades with Yellow version, as I traded over Gen 1 Abra over to Gen 2. That's how you get it. It is the only way to get TM09, which is Psych Up, in Generation 2. I have no idea why. But regardless, we're ready to return Chris's Pokemon, and we're as well as Gold's Mareep and Flaaffy. Luckily, I duped Ampharos off screen, so there's no loss there. And we are also giving Gold TM09 Psych Up so we could complete the TM Dex in this game. And we're giving Gold Celebi, which is the last Pokemon that Gold actually needs before we can officially complete its Pokedex. Silver, we're gonna do much of the same thing later on, so no worries. Take good care of Poliwhirl. What Poliwhirl is evolving? Yep, and Chris's Poliwhirl is now evolving to Politoed. I'll be reading all of Chris's Pokedex entries tomorrow, and there is a lot of them because due to the trades with Yellow, and due to the trades with Gold, and soon the trades with Silver. Chris will trade Flaaffy for Ethan's Onyx. Chris bids farewell to Flaaffy. Alright, and oh boy. There's the Flaaffy. Welcome back, Flaaffy, and welcome back, Onyx. Rocky the Onyx, who's also gonna evolve into Steelix. And by the way, it's also the reason why I don't have Slowpoke or Scizor with me. It's the only, or Porygon 2 with Cedra. It's Porygon with Cedra. It's the only way I could properly unscramble everything without evolving something by mistake. Is if all three Pokemon can hold a different held item and not evolve. So, yep. And Chris is actually gonna go plus 12 through this exchange. Whereas Gold and Silver is gonna go plus 7. Cedra for Celebi, in order to help complete Gold's Pokedex. And by the way, another big problem with dual save RAM writer that I need to address is you can't split up. Is that you can't split up the joint RAMs. The dual RAMs at all. There's no way to break the two up afterwards. So I have to go back to PK Hex to do the same shit over and over and over again. And this is how you get some crazy shit like it be Monday 9 PM or something on Gold or Silver versions, which should be Tuesday midday. So, yep, now Crystal has a Kingdra. And Gold has a Celebi. Gold has completed his Pokedex, so last thing for us to do is read the 7 new Pokedex entries in Pokemon Gold. So I'm removing Chris from the terminal so I could read the Pokedex entries in peace. There's 7 to go over. Let's get started. If Poliwag and Poliwhirl hear its echoing cry, they respond by gathering from far and wide. Now, it has incredible intellect and intuition. Whatever the situation, it remains calm and collected. And now for Steelix. Its body has been compressed deep under the ground. As a result, it is even harder than a diamond. It swings its eye-patterned pincers up to scare its, foes. This makes it look like it has 3 heads. Now, it is said that it usually hides in underwater caves. It can create whirlpools by yawning. This upgraded version of Porygon is designed for space exploration. It can't fly though. This Pokemon wanders across time. Grass and trees flourish in the forest in which it has appeared. And that's it for Gold's Pokedex entries. Power off. Now it's Silver's turn. And seeing as how Gold traded Mareep, Flaaffy, and Ampharos over to Crystal to help complete her Pokedex, it's only fitting to do the same thing for Silver to do the same thing with Girafarig, Remoraid, and Octillery. This time, it's actually Girafarig who is the duplicate Pokemon. That is the Pokemon I chose to duplicate in Silver version. And once again, I chose to mix up the held items held by Slowpoke, Scizor, and Porygon, in order to ensure that that all 3 games are able to be traded over, and then when we trade back, these 3 Pokemon will then evolve for us. In exchange, I believe... Alright, I didn't give... Crystal cannot trade over TM09 quite yet because of the trade items. I have to bring those over into Gold and Silver first. Alright. Man, this is so freaking boring. It's so boring. And the AC adapter on my laptop's shit. A piece of shit. It won't stay plugged in. So yeah, the final set of trade evolutions will be coming back to Chris, but with the items restored to their proper order. And because I already duped Girafarig ahead of time in Silver version, that Girafarig, the Girafarig trade here will be a one-way trip. While Remoraid and Octillery I never duped. By the way, it should be goes without saying, but any Pokemon that Chris has to trade back, like the Mareep, Flaaffy, Remoraid, and Octillery, I duped already in Crystal version before doing the trade backs. No need to dupe the Ampharos or Girafarig because Crystal will be holding on in Crystal because she'll be holding on to them. But with Gold and Silver, because I need to receive Celebi, I need to trade Celebi over to Gold Silver, I have to leave a Pokemon behind. And before I leave a Pokemon behind, I made sure to dupe them. This ensures that all 3 games will have a living dex by the end of this. Alright. Octillery's being traded over because none of these 6 Pokemon can be caught in Crystal version. And this is the last of this 3rd set of trades. No, it's 4th set. This is the 5th and final set of trades in this episode, and the final set of trades in Gold Silver. In Gold Silver and Crystal version. Now all the items are back in their proper place. Remoraid's got TM09, so I can complete the TM Dex in Silver version. Crystal still needs to battle the Kanto Gym leaders, and 2 of them offer up TMs as a reward for beating them. Those being Erica and Janine will give you the TMs for Giga Drain and Toxic respectively. So yeah. Gotta take this time so that way I can get a head start and not have to worry about a synchronization problem. And now that the items are in their proper spots, Slowpoke will evolve into Slowking, Scyther into Scizor, and Porygon into Porygon 2, all for Chris. By the way, you might be wondering, why am I not transferring the other Gen 2 items that you need, the other time capsule items over to Gold Silver? I don't need to. I just need to carry them over to those time capsule items over to Gen 2. There is, apart from TM09, there is no max item conditions available in Gold, Silver, Crystal, because getting every single item is impossible, particularly at max quantities. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, why not give every one of your Pokemon an item to hold? That would solve the problem. No, it doesn't. It does not solve the problem because you still need to get 99 copies of every item in the game. And thanks to the duplication trick, you can get 99 copies of every item in the game except for key items and HMs. But no, that ain't possible. So Chris, as I said, Chris has had fewer Pokemon going into these trades. Like way fewer, like I think 230. I think around 230 Pokemon. But by the end of this, she's gonna go plus 4. She's gonna no 232 Pokemon. But by the end of this, she's gonna go plus 12, and we'll have a shit ton of Pokedex entries to read, like a shit ton. From the Gen 1 exclusives with Pokemon Yellow, the trade evolutions, the Gen 2 omissions like the Mareep and Remoraid lines, Girafarig. We need to get all 6 of those Pokemon. It's a mess. So last trade. Porygon, which will evolve into Porygon 2 in exchange for Celebi. And there it is. And after that, Silver will be reading the final 7 Pokedex entries. And of course, I will be reading all the dex entries for Crystal tomorrow. Or, sorry, not tomorrow, next time. I'm probably gonna take a break tomorrow so I could get everything. Ready in Pokemon Crystal. I'm gonna need it. But I absolutely need to get everything ready in Pokemon Crystal. Because after this, Crystal will have only 7 more Pokemon left to obtain. 4 of them need to be caught, 1 of them's in in-game trade, and 2 of them are last 2 stone evolutions. So that's it. Gold and silver are 251 for 251 at long last. At long last, Waters Crystal has 244 Pokemon out of 251. So let's read some dex entries now. Whenever 3 or more of these get together, they sing in a loud voice that sounds like bellowing. Now for Slowking. When its head was bitten, toxins entered Slowpoke's head and unlocked an extraordinary power. Now for Steelix. It is said that if an Onix lives for over 100 years, its composition changes to become diamond-like. And Scizor? Its wings are not used for flying. They are flapped at high speed to adjust its body temperature. And now we need to check out Porygon 2. Further research enhanced its abilities. Sometimes, it may exhibit motions that were not programmed. And now for Kingdra. It sleeps deep on the ocean floor to build its energy. It is said to cause tornadoes as it wakes. And last but not least, we have Celebi. When Celebi disappears deep in the forest, it is said to leave behind an egg brought from the future. And that's it! Last Pokedex entries for Pokemon Silver. We've achieved a perfect playthrough in both Gold and Silver, and this was when I made the proper adjustments, so now it's actually Gold and Silver this time. You have 251 Pokemon out of 251 Pokemon seen and caught. Our team is back in our party. And here's the full TM list, which I duped all the way to 99 copies. Including TM09 Psych Up, the last TM left for us to acquire in this playthrough. And yeah, it's just going through the motions. There are not a single TM has been left out or is missing. They're all accounted for. As well as also in HMs, though you probably knew that already. All the possible key items we can have up to this point in time, 9,999. With all the other missing key items being items we either had to give up to complete a quest line or a side quest. So that's it. And all Pokeballs at 99 copies each, except for the Park Ball, which is not obtainable through normal means. 251, 16 badges, maxed out Gil. And that's not all, I also need... Wait, let's check out Professor Oak's rating. For one seen and caught. Whoa, a perfect Pokedex! I've dreamt about this. Congratulations! And now we are going to go ahead and check out all our boxes. 20 out of 20 all, except for this one, which has 11 out of 20, and Reserve, which is empty because that used to be where I kept my party. Move Pokemon without mail, and let's check them out closely. So, yeah, I do think the biggest shame is that, apart from the red Gyarados, Gold never ran into another shiny. Silver did. Crystal has quite a number of them, thanks to the shiny Cubone and Marowak, thanks to the shiny Cubone from Pokemon Yellow, as well as the Odd Egg. But Gold is the only game in the Gen 2 that only has the red Gyarados and no other shinies. Kinda sucks, I know. And you can definitely tell from watching these that I really abused the fuck out of the duplication glitch in order to get as many of the evolutions as possible. And the reason for this was basically to make it so I didn't have to go out of sync between Gold and Silver a whole lot. And by the way, all of this is done via dual Game Boy emulator, though I did fix it so that the individual files would still read 251, and would read all of these. I mean, it was the only way to keep everything as authentic as possible, even though at the start of the episode, it used to be a trade between two Jimmies, but that's more of a bug with the involved with the dual save RAM writer that I was using. And I've since cleaned up this bug because it's very much Ethan and Jimmy here. So, yep, that is every single Pokemon in the entire living Dex in Dex order. All lined up perfectly in Dex order in the PC. And I couldn't have it any other way, but there is still one last task left for us to complete before we bring Gold and Silver to a close. Collect our Diploma, now that we have completed our Pokedex. And it's the same place as it used to be in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Right here. Is that right? I'm the game designer. Filling up your Pokedex is tough, but don't give up. Wow, excellent! You completed your Pokedex! Congratulations! Indeed, congratulations are all in order. All we have left to do now is complete Pokemon Crystal. That'll take a bit of time to set up, but tune in next time when we begin to complete Pokemon Crystal. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gordon, signing out.